morning everyone. This is Radhakrishna Babudeshi. Welcome to the session 3 first. So here I would like to explain the concept of a steam power plant. Already in your previous classes we are having a greater knowledge about how the steam power plant works, what are the different components of a steam power plant and what is the layout of a steam power plant. So these are the questions already we gained knowledge from the last two sessions. So in the present session we are mainly focusing on a fuel handling system. So in a steam power plant, generally what type of fuel we are using? So in a steam power plant, the major amount of fuel we are using is the coal. Okay, so that's why in this session I would like to elaborate what are the different types of fuel handling systems are available, what is the importance of a fuel handling system. Okay, so these are the content of a present session 3. Okay, so see here, in a fuel handling system, we require different equipments like a cranes. Okay, so that means it transfers the fuel from one place to the another positions. Okay, and here the following schedule factors. So what are the important factors affect the fuel handling system? Okay, in a fuel handling system, three parameters are mainly affect on this system. What are the three parameters or aspects influences the fuel handling system? So these are three fuel handling systems. One is plant fuel rate, and second one is the plant location in respect to the fuel shipping position, and third one is the storage availability area. So these are the three conditions. Listen guys. So three important aspects or effects to the fuel handling system. One is the plant fuel rate, and second one is the plant location in respect of fuel shipping, and third one is storage area available. So why the plant fuel rate is effect on a fuel handling system? So generally the fuel flow rate indicates the amount of heat release rate. For example, if you fire a 1 kg of coal, maybe that coal have some heating value. That value may be 20,000 kilojoule per kg. So based on that heating value, we can get a high amount of heat release rate. If you supply for a medium range of power plants, we need to supply the fuel 50 to 60 kgs per second. So per second, we are giving fuel in a 50 to 60 kgs. That is the flow rate, how much amount of fuel is burned in a particular time. Okay, so that plays a vital role here. So that is the, based on that fuel, we can arrange the setups. And the same thing, plant location in respect to the fuel shipping. For example, if you have a coal mine at a different place and plant at a different place, so we need to combine these two. So that means the fuel is transferred from the one position to the other position. So maybe that fuel coal mine have very nearer to the sea position, we can utilize a sea or river position of a transportation system, or otherwise that is very nearer to the railroad. So at that time we can utilize a rail or road-based system. Like that we can define the system of a position coal mines and the plant. That is the content. And last one is the storage availability. So how much storage is available with your plant? Okay, for example, if you have a large amount of area, we can store the large amount of coal. If you have a less amount of area, at that time we can store the very low amount of a coal based on the area. So maximum cases we need to acquire a maximum space because of we need a large amount of coal for the power generation. And here, what are the major transportation methods? So as earlier we discussed that transportation plays a vital role here. For example, by using a transportation by sea or river gives a very less price when compared to the other sources. Okay, and next one is the transportation by rail, transportation by road, transportation by ropeways. So where we are using the ropeways, so transportation of ropeways generally we are using in a hilly areas. Why? Because in a hilly area we don't have a choice to construct a road or rail processes. So at that time we can construct a ropeway for transferring the coal from low level position to the high level positions, or otherwise high level positions to the low level positions. Okay. And last one is the transportation of coal by a pipeline. So that means here we need to arrange one pipeline. So in this pipeline only we are sending the coal from one point to the final destination point. So these are the various important or major transportation facilities till now we are using in a fuel supply systems, and also coal handling system. So here what is meant by coal handling? So we need to supply the coal to the furnace, because at a furnace point only we are taking a burning process. So that means we need to supply the coal to the furnace point. So how we can supply the coal to the furnace point? In the olden days, generally they preferred the manual coal supply system. So that is the manual coal handling process. Our next thing, but it has some disadvantages of a manual coal handling system. It requires a more number of labors, and it may be causes to the unhealthy conditions of a labor also, and it is a very slow process also. We can't expect higher amount of coal dispatching at a single time. So these are the some disadvantages with the manual handling system. So nowadays all the systems are working with the electrical power. So that's why we are also using that electrical energy, and we can operate the systems by using of a mechanical method. Okay, so that mechanical systems are operated by electricity. So see one thing, interesting thing here. The power generated in the electrical power stations, around 50% of power consumed by its own system operation process only. Can you understand? So, for example, if you generate a 1 megawatt power plant, out of 1 megawatt, 0.5 megawatts of power is utilized by the plant itself, because we need to operate the several equipments. Okay, so that's why we prefer the mechanical handling system. So why we are adopting the mechanical handling system rather than the manual system? Okay, so see the reasons here. Because it is a high reliable conditions and less labor required, and also economical for the medium and large capacity power plants. How it is economical? So for example, if you done a one work by the manual power, okay, small work we can done by 10 mans. Okay, the same work is done by one machine within a 1 hour. That means it replaces the 10 humans with a single 1 hour. That means it gives a very less price when compared to the manual power. Okay, that's why most of the cases we are using the manual power only. Okay, can be easily started and can be easily economically adjusted according to the need. For example, it is if you consider a 10 people is required for moving the coal from one position to the another position in a one day, and next day if you want to reduce the coal supply, because we need to reduce the load requirement, so at that time we need to reduce some labor, but it's very difficult to say you don't come like that. So that's why we can utilize a mechanism system, so you can simply operate with a low power or high power based on your requirement. Okay, and next thing, operation is easy and smooth, so no disturbances arises with a mechanical system when compared to the manual process. In a manual process we face several problems. Okay, but here we don't get any type of a disturbances except the repair part. And here reduce the labor and management. So management issues are more with a labor. So that's why simply we can replace the labor content with a mechanical systems. And it is also very safe for the who are working at a power stations, because we are reducing the power manpower means, so automatically that unhealthy condition is avoided, because it causes several health issues. For a burning process, it releases a large amount of emissions, so it causes maybe unhealthy conditions for a labor. So we are using a mechanical system means we are already minimized the system. So that's why we are here. This is the advantage of a mechanical system. And also we have several losses in the transportation process in a manual process. That losses also we can minimize in a mechanical handling system. So these are the reasons we are adopting the mechanical handling system rather than the manual handling process. Okay. But every advantages point of also we have some disadvantages. So what are the disadvantages of a mechanical handling system? Up to now we are seeing that, so these are the benefits, these are the advantages of a mechanical handling system, but it has some disadvantages. What are some disadvantages? That maybe it needs continuous maintenance and the repair part. So already we discussed that it requires maybe we need a continuous monitoring every time. So it's properly functioning, it's working properly or not, or otherwise we need to give some maintenance. So that may be costly process. And also that initial cost, so capital cost of a plant may be increases, because initially if you require a steam power plant only if you have constructed with a major components. But we need to automation of a plant means we need to establish each and every component for every process. So that means automatically the number of components are increases. So that means it shows a high capital cost. Okay. And here the same continuous process. So what is this? The various steps involved in the coal handling process. So here this is various steps involved in the coal handling process. So here mainly we have a 9 processes are there. What are the 9 processes? So the first process is coal delivery. So we need to deliver the coal at a particular point. So deliver means we are receiving the coal using any other any transportation mechanism. Maybe that is a sea level transportation mechanism or a road rail transportation mechanism or pipeline transportation mechanism. Any other transportation mechanism we can receive like this, like a goods. And here we need to, what we need to do, unload it. It's a delivery point, but it's this is the goods or coal. So the thing is we need to unload the coal. How we can unload? Okay, so that is the unloading process. After the unload process, it is a required desired condition or not? Obviously it's not a desired condition. So that's why we need to prepare in a desired way. That means we need a preparation step. And after that, so preparation is completed. At that time, we need to move from one position to the another position of a plant. So that is the transfer state. And later, so transfer at a particular position, but I don't want to utilize right now. So that means we need to store the coal point, coal at a particular point. So here, coal storage process. Coal storage are 2 types, outdoor storage and covered storage. We can discuss later clearly. And next, so covered storage also completed. So we need to utilize the coal inside the plant. So inside the plant we need to run the coal means in-plant handling system is required. And next thing, weighing and measuring. So everything is completed. We are very nearer to the furnace. At that point, we can weigh the finalized coal, because we are load delivery with a uncrystal coal. So here we are done the preparation process. At that time we can lose some amount of coal. After transportation process, we can lose some amount of coal. So that reason we need to measure or weighing that coal, and finally we can enter into the furnace point. Okay. And here coal delivery process. So this is the some coal delivery process in a sea level. Maybe that is very nearer to the sea. We can drag the coal from the near to sea point by using the trains, and later we can transfer to the ship method. By using a ship we can deliver it. Okay. Or otherwise we can utilize the sea, or we can adapt a sea process. So sea process means we can utilize a ship or a boat. By using a ship or boat we can transport the coal from one position to the another position, or otherwise we can utilize a rail facilities. So this is the second cheapest method when compared to the water level. Okay. So in a rail because we are gathering the high amount of coal, but the transportation cost is less when compared to the road transportation. So that's why most of the cases coal process is delivered by a rail method only. And also we have one more option is there, that is the road transportation method. Okay, so road transportation of a coal is very costly. That's why most of the cases it is not adapted technique. And some cases we are only adapting the very less amount of coal is required. At that time only we can utilize a road transportation method. And also different methods are available, and one more two methods are important methods are available. What are the two? One is the pipeline delivery transportation method, and second one is the next thing is unloading process. So here we need to unload that coal. So unloading process. So see here the coal is unloading from the rail process, from a rail. So just simply that is rotated. So that rotated means the entire coal in the rail wagon is dropped at a particular position. See from this diagram. Okay. So the coal is brought by a rail wagons, ships, boats, and several methods. So here we are using the different equipment for the unloading processes also. And preparation process. So here we are getting the coal. We are getting the coal in a raw form, and it is big lumps. So these are the big lumps. So we can directly inject it into the furnace. Maybe it takes more time for the burning process, and it is not give a proper combustion, or it is known as the incomplete combustion. But we need the complete combustion process. So what we can do for the complete combustion process? So for the complete combustion process, first we need to prepare the coal in a required size. Okay, how we can get the required size? For example, coal have a diameter of 100 mm. Okay, so how we can minimize that size? So grinding process. So simply we can utilize the grinding process. So see here in this diagram, grinding process is going on. So coal is injected here. The coal is injected here, and here we are arranging the grinders. So it grinds, it converts to the raw coal to the powder format. Okay, and after the powder formation, that powder is directly injected here like a furnace points. So it gives very proper and very high velocity of a flame. When we are getting the high velocity of a flame, automatically it releases high amount of heat. Okay, so that is our main goal, is we need to achieve the highest combustion rate. So that's why we are choosing the preparation part. And what about the next condition? So next condition is the preparation is completed, means we need to store the coal. So how we can store the coal? So these are the centers for store the coal here. What is the necessity to storage of the coal? So why we are implementing the cold storage processes? Maybe we can avoid the sudden shutdown of a steam power plants, because some unavoidable situations are happened in naturally, maybe strikes, maybe rains, some other reasons we don't get a coal continuous supply. At that time we can shut down the entire power plant. So that gives a loss of a power developing. So that's why we are adopting the cold storage processes. So resulting that we can get the continuous power production process. So what are the different types of storage methods? Already in the last slide we discussed the two types of storage methods: outdoor storage method and covered storage method. So see here, the cold storages are generally divided into two groups. One is the outdoor storage method. So that is also known as the dead storage process. Outdoor storage. So the name indicates that the coal is stored at outside the plant. Okay, so here we can store a large amount of coal in a particular position. Here we have a large space, so that's why we can store the large amount of coal, but it is not available inside the plant. Okay, so our prepared coal, so here we can store the coal inside the plant in a less amount. So that process is known as covered storage process. So inside the plant we are storing the coal, means that is the live storage process, and outside the coal we are storing is the dead storage process. Simply we can also know that dead storage process is the high amount of coal required when we require for the further days. But live storage means at present we would like to consume it in the on the way process. Okay, so that indicates the live storage methods. And how we can transfer the coal. Up to now we are seeing the transportation methods from the outside to the plant. So how we can transfer the coal inside the plant. So after preparation of a coal, transfer to the dead storage by different techniques. So what are the techniques here we are using? Here we are using total 5 steps. One is the belt conveyors, second one is the screw conveyors, bucket elevators, and grab bucket elevators, flight conveyors. So 5 types. One is bucket, one is belt conveyors, second one is the screw conveyor, third one is the bucket elevator, fourth one is the grab bucket elevator, fifth one is the flight conveyor. Okay guys, I would like to summarize up to now what we have discussed here. So here especially we have discussed the first summary here. So here I would like to discuss the summary of a session 3. In a session 3, we have firstly discussed about fuel handling systems. So what is meant by fuel handling? How we can handle the fuel? So fuel handling means how we are deliver the coal and how we are supply the coal from the coal mines to the plant, and inside the plant how we are handle the fuel. Okay. And also one more important thing we have discussed here is the steps involved in the coal handling process. Coal handling process. So what are the steps involved here? So total 9 steps are involved here. Total 9 steps are involved here. What are the 9 steps? First one is the coal delivery, and second one is the unloading process, and next one is the transportation, next one is the preparation, four processes, and remaining processes are storage processes. So 2 storage processes are available: dead storage process, covered storage process, okay, and in-plant handling. Next one is the firing process. So these are the processes explained here. Okay, thank you.